guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best, cutting edge, most recent, most effective, and useful brain body tools so you could get out there, take the actions to feel, look, and do your absolute best and create the life experience that you want, deserve, and wish for. Today, a couple of things I was thinking of. I finished listening to the podcast with Andrew Huberman, a number one podcast on the Apple podcast. So Andrew Huberman Lab, check them out. And he was talking to David Goggins, how to build inner strength for the year ahead. And that made me think of how all manifestation, think about that and you'll attract them, create the energy and you will attract the stuff. Most of it is bullshit, to be honest. Yes, you gotta be in a state of energy that you align with things, with people, with projects that you like, that you want to have in your life. But also, nobody freaking built anything great by sitting and wishing for it. Nobody. Arnold Schwarzenegger came to the US, to America, and yes, he was visualizing himself on the stage of bodybuilding and then becoming one of the greatest actors and then getting into politics. But guess what? He also worked out in the gym for hours and went to all of this boring, as he said himself, meetings to learn about politics, to understand people. He went to all of these classes and courses for acting. He worked his ass off to get where he was. And as I was also thinking and doing some pull-ups in the morning, I'm like, nobody build their back muscles by looking at the pull-up bar and wishing they built the muscle. Guys, this is just a little bit of grounding self-talk that we all need to understand. You do not attract things by sitting and wishing. Yes, you visualize, you help your brain to align your biology, your psychology with the things that you want, but also you have to get off your ass and go and work on things. And guess what? Great things nobody built by doing average and mediocre work. The work begins, the transformation begins when it starts hurting and you're going through challenges and you're not stopping. And if I learned anything in my coaching career, in my personal self-work, is that the transformation begins at exact point where it starts getting hard. Before that, you're just doing what you're already good at. And so if things are challenging, if things are getting hard, if things feel, just hard, guess what? This is what transformation is supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to feel easy and you're all pumped up and listening to your favorite music and all vibing. Yeah, that will also happen. But guess what? Also shit will happen, it's going to be extremely hard, and you still will have to figure your psychology, figure your biology out, figure yourself out to get through it when it's hard. And only then you're going to get to the other side as a completely different person. So listen to that episode with Huberman Lab and David Goggins. Pick up David Goggins' book. I'm still yet to read it, but it's just worth listening to his voice and the truth of great self and life transformation. And so obviously he inspired me to get through additional workouts and get cranking on my business goals. And today's your guest, we are talking about the goals. But first, I just wanted you to share with you this insight and realization and something that I need to ground myself more into. When I'm listening to all of these people talking about, I manifested this and that, when in reality, it's just some, usually a woman for whichever reason, getting married and having a husband who works his ass off for everything that they have, and then she starts teaching or manifesting things. Heck no. Nobody, none of the people manifested their new version of self without hard work. And so that is all to say, to inspire, to motivate you, just like myself personally, to get out there and work on hard things. Transformation is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. And when it feels hard, that's when the work begins. So get out there, get things done. And when you see other people working their asses off, salute them. It's like, I see you. I see what you're doing. And I salute you as a fellow hero on their journey. And now let's jump into goals. What is wrong with all of our goals? With my goals, with your goals, with fitness goals, business transformation goals, finding a soulmate goals, learning different skills and getting better. What is wrong with all of our goals when we fail to achieve them? I'm going to share with you to also remind myself to do it better moving forward. So what is wrong? Let's say you, like a lot of people, I'm helping my clients, I'm helping some friends, I'm working on my own goals, a lot of goal setting, a lot of goal achieving strategies, especially at the beginning of the year, especially in January. And so a lot of us would have goals. Now I know a little bit better, after a decade of coaching, I'm finally getting it. I just need to get better myself for certain areas to set in a schedule and work with the right strategies on the goals. But anyhow, so people would say, I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want to have better relationships. I want to learn a skill of public speaking, or I want to create better marketing for my company. I want to create impactful business. I want to help more people in my business. Now, as I'm saying all of these sentences, notice what all of them lack. They lack a timeline. They lack a number. They lack an exact definition. Basically answering a question, how will you know when you arrive there? Like if you lose 500 grams, does that count as your weight loss goal achievement? If you make $100 more per month, does that count as making more money? Going for one date with a decent person, does that count as your goal? Reading a book about public speaking, does that count as achieving your goal? Probably not. So you need to get better, as I do, as I help my clients to do. We all need to get better at one thing. Okay, you have this intention. Now, what's exactly the goal is? How will you know when you achieve it? Lose weight? How many pounds or kilograms of weight? Make money? How much money? Find your soulmate, one of my goals. Yes, I literally have a goal this year to find my soulmate. Okay, how would you know when you find him or her, depending on the person? For me, it's him. I want to create great marketing for my company. What does it mean exactly? What does great marketing look like? Do you want to have a great website? Do you want to have certain amount of followers on your social media? Again, the next one, learning the skill of, for me, let's say, better communication and public speaking. What does it mean exactly, learning a skill? What, are you going to read one book? For me, it means going through the communication speaking course that I already have, I signed up for, and now I planned for it in the next 3 months to go through it. And then to do at least 2 workshops of public speaking every month and get feedback, get testimonial, get at least a couple of raving fans kind of testimonial, and be invited for a follow-up. So that for me means getting better at my public speaking skills. Yes, going through the course, but also applying those skills. And I probably need to adjust it to also start getting paid for my speaking. That's going to be the ultimate goal for the year. You see, I just got an idea how I can measure learning public speaking skill better. So 2 raving reviews, invitation to do something else, work on a project, and then offered to get paid. And I probably want to put a number on getting paid, like how much I want to get paid this year for my public speaking. So that's goal is still needs a little bit of work. But you see the trend. Like how can you measure your goal? How will you know when you arrive there? So that's the step number 1. That's the first thing that a lot of people miss when we set our goal. Like I was missing my learning public speaking, improving public speaking skill is still not there. Need to make it better. So that's for the next couple of days, my assignment to improve this goal. So what is your goal? By the way, the less goals, as we talked on the last episode of 2023 about the book Willpower, the less goals you have, the most chances you have to achieve any of them. In fact, there is statistics on the internet somewhere. So the more goals you set, the less chance you will have with each of them to achieve any of them, just because all of your resources are limited, and the resource of willpower, why I was talking about the book, is also very limited. Again, transformation happens when things are hard and you keep pushing, and that pushing requires resources, requires willpower, and you have less and less of it the more you push. So obviously, if you have a lot of goals to push, you have very little of willpower for each of them. So that's how the more goals you set, the less goals you achieve. So set a few goals. 3 goals, major goals for your life transformation for the next year is plenty. So number 1, again, put a number on it. How are you going to know that you achieved that goal? It's going to be very, very specific. And now let's get to the next one. After we have a specific goal, why specificity with time, with numbers, with any kind of trackable indicators? Why is it so important? Well, it is important because then it allows you to choose a working strategy. Like you're trying to lose weight. I was talking to a friend about that. Losing 10 kilos in 20 years will require a completely different strategy than losing 10 kilos in the next, let's say, couple of months. Completely different strategy. And the strategy you use will define whether you succeed or not, whether you will have a chance to succeed or not. So specificity of your goal will help you to choose a working strategy. Now, the strategy might still not be the best one when you try it, and you will have to adjust it. But if you don't have specificity in your goals, that failure rate is just going to increase exponentially. It's hard enough to find a good working strategy for complex goals because life is unpredictable. How you're going to react to certain actions in your specific circumstances is also very different and very unique. So there is enough of a chance for failure already. But if you also don't have specificity in your goals, it's almost impossible to reach your goals. And that's why people don't reach a lot of goals, because it actually requires a little bit more thinking than just wishing for a specific outcome for the first couple of weeks of January and then abandoning it because it gets hard, or you actually don't track your goals and you don't even know why you're doing for. By the way, why is also important. Why are you trying to lose weight? Why are you trying to make more money? Why are you trying to find your soulmate? Why are you trying to improve public speaking skill? That is actually the exercise that I do is each of my client even before we set the goal or after we set the goal. Like, why are we working on that? Because that why, and that also based on research, will carry you through the most challenging moments. For me, why I go after my goals, first of all, I want to be the person who sticks with their goals, who goes through hard stuff, and who is able of self-transformation, who is not just okay with status quo, but wants to create something in this life and believes in transformation, in improvement, in growth. And if you believe in that, you should represent that belief. And that's why I'm working on different goals. But then each of my goals also represent a deeper why connection to why I live as a human being, what makes my life meaningful. Now back to strategy, right? Okay, so you want to lose, let's say, 20 kgs over the course of this year. You want to make 10K a month. I'm speaking about $10,000 in this case. That is for me. You want to find your soulmate in the next year. And, you also got to kind of describe what that means to find your soulmate, what kind of relationship you want to have, what kind of person that is. Now that you have your goals, you got to choose the strategy. And the best way to choose working strategy, if you don't have a lot of experience in it, or you don't know where to start, is ask for advice, for feedback from the person, ideally, who went through the transformation, and ideally even better, who took other people through the same transformation, meaning who have the result themselves, and they transformed themselves in this area, and they helped someone else. That's why coaches are such an amazing resource, because they usually transform themselves and transformed a lot of people. And that means they can help you, not just help themselves. And that's why I went through health transformation and through weight transformation and transformed a lot of my habits. And that's why I know that things, and I helped other people. And that's why I know that certain things just work. And plus I study, I research things. I never go to bed without learning something more about my profession, right? So coaching is a great resource, but it doesn't have to be coaching. You can ask experts. Most of the experts are actually quite generous to answer the questions you have or your request for advice or a tip. So ask for advice from people who've been there, even better, who took other people through it. That's how you find the working strategy that has the most chance to succeed. Even then, it's probably not going to be the same for everybody. In almost every case, it's not. So you'll have to adjust. And we're going to talk about adjusting in the last step of goal achieving. So working strategy, choose one. And again, the more specific your goal is, the easier it's going to be for you to choose a working strategy. And the easier it's going to be for anyone to help you with your goal. So working strategy, okay? For losing weight, for making money. Like for me, for example, okay, how am I gonna make $10,000 a month? So this year I decided to go simple. Okay, $10,000 a month means 20 clients who pay $500 a month. That what I usually do is $3,000 per half a year. And that's going to end up at $10,000 a month exactly. And the hours I'll need to make, I also calculated that Monday to Friday, about 6 hours, and I'm going to be done with that goal. So that is a working strategy. That is strategy that is grounded in reality, no wishful thinking, manifestation and visualization needed. Just work hard to figure out your lead generation, and that's your offer, and all of that I'm working on. But I have a strategy how I'm going to get there. So find a working strategy. And now break this strategy down into concrete action step. That's also where a lot of people working on their goals by themselves, we fail. We're like, I want to have 20 clients that pay me in 6 months, $500 a month. Okay, how are you going to get there? Well, you need to be seen by people. You need to make more people aware of your work. And that is called lead generation. You got to have people who are interested in what you do. And then now you start planning. How am I going to do that? What do I know about lead generation? And something I know from Alex Hormozi, something my mentor, my entrepreneurial mentor advised me on quite a few strategies, content creation, events, and reaching out to people and having the conversation, again, networking events and different lunches and dinners, and quite a few strategies. And actually today I'm sitting down and putting together a better, more precise plan of how I'm going to connect with more people and how I'm going to deliver value to show them the value of our work together, so we have the opportunity to work together, right? And then schedule the work. How many hours a day, a week you're going to spend on, in my case of making 10K per month, lead generation? What events I'm going to attend? Where does it make sense for me to speak at? Who does it make sense for me to collaborate with? Causes, companies, can I contribute so it's a win-win situation? Like all of that gonna be happening today. And then I'm gonna schedule the work to work on each of those mini strategies under the umbrella of lead generation. And then schedule the work. That's the next piece that we miss. Like last year, I was trying to get certification with precision nutrition for recovery sleep. The next one, they have also a couple of for behavioral change and special cases and challenging cases. So I was going to get through it, but I never put it on my schedule. And therefore, guess what? It never happened. So now for the next 3 months, it's certification number 1. It's in the schedule and I'm starting tomorrow. So if it's not on the schedule, it's never going to happen. Evaluate the amount of hours approximately you'll need for that goal, the action steps coming from your working strategy, the step before it, and then schedule that. And then, of course, there's going to be work to show up to make your commitment happen. But without those things scheduled on your calendar, it's almost a guarantee that you're gonna fail with your goals. Or let's take another one of my goals. Find your soulmate. How am I gonna do that? Sitting in my room and wishing it's just gonna come into my life? Well, sometimes those things happen, those minor things. But also, what's more likely to happen if you go to places? Now, first you describe your soulmate. Who is the person you wanna meet? Like what kind of values and hobbies they have? And where do they most likely going to be spending their time? And then go and do those things. And guess what? Chances are you might meet that exact person there. Get off your ass and get going. So that is how you work on a more abstract the goals, where you don't have all of the tools to kind of create the results, even though, I might, or you might argue that it's truth for all of our goals. There is this luck component of it. But if we don't put in the work, that luck, luck gotta meet opportunity and hard work. And if we don't get over our asses and don't put any work in, the chances that our luck and our opportunities find us actually much, much lower. So schedule the work, schedule those ways and, meetings, activities where you can meet that soulmate and go get out there, get after that goal. And the universe, once you start taking steps forward, the universe is such a magical place that it's gonna bring you the opportunity to fulfill, but only if you are equally willing to do the work. And the last but not least, what mistake we all make with our goals, we don't track it. We don't adjust. We kind of blindly go into a mode of black and white thinking, whether we failed every day or we succeeded every day. But we don't do a good enough job of tracking minor progress, of tracking the effectiveness of our strategies, of tracking whether we are getting closer, getting nowhere, have a potential to get closer, we didn't do a good enough job of doing that. And that's, as a coach, I try to get better and better with my clients and figuring out for each individual client, what can we track here to make sure that we know that we are doing the effective thing, the effective strategy to get the results that my clients want to get. And then number 2, that they are also motivated and see the progress they are making. And there is nothing like our own progress to motivate us. So creating an opportunity for more wins every week. That's what I'm looking also into when creating a system of tracking for my clients and for myself. So every week I have a ritual for myself when I need to get much, much better at business with that. Every week, every Saturday or Sunday, I sit down with myself and I schedule that time ahead of time. And I look at my goals and at the actions I took, at the strategies that I approach. And I started to get better and better actually at the end of last year. Before it was kind of all over the place, to be honest. But now with accountability and coaching from one amazing entrepreneur here in Cape Town, I am myself getting better at tracking my business indicators, choosing strategies, and also not falling into black and white mentality. It's like, or you either made X amount of money or you didn't. No, but you also tried a lot of things and got results and got leads and got conversations starting. And yes, for some people it takes longer. For some people it takes shorter amount of time to sign up, for example, for your coaching, but you put in the work and then you assess things that you might have done better, that didn't work, and then you adjust. That's the reason why we track. And also, again, back to this idea that nothing motivates us more than our own progress. You have to show your brain that you are making some sort of progress. Otherwise, your brain will decide that this is a worthless pursuit, a waste of your energy and resources. It's going to drag your motivation level down and you're going to quit. That's why tracking your own progress and creating the conditions for you to win, no matter what, is so crucial for achieving your goals. The hard ones, the long-term ones, the ones that require work, not just manifestation thinking. And that's about it. Well, actually, an extra bonus set of tips. What's going to help you to keep going? Like nothing else. A couple of things. Accountability and advice from people who care and people who know how to help you to get where you want to get. And then the second thing, creating the environment, social environment, physical environment, psychological environment, meaning make the things, design your environment so it's easier for you to do things that need to be done, and it's almost impossible or very hard to quit. When you create that kind of environment, when you have accountability of two like-minded people, when you have their advice, when just you create your own whole of heroes who might not know you, like people you admire from social media, from far apart, but every time you listen to them, you watch their stuff, you look at them, like for example, Alice Hormozy in business, you're like, yeah, I want to get out there and put the hard work in. Like create that environment that pumps you up when you need it and use it exactly when it gets the hardest. And when it gets hard, remember why you started. Back to the why, all the way up. Never forget that the most motivating thing that you have is your deeper reason and understanding of your own why. Like Simon Sinek says, why? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Well, you are that people. We care about that deeper reason and meaning for us to do things. That's what your dopamine also loves. Why? It's basically your lifelong promise of reward at the end. That's what makes your life meaningful. So understand your why, and that's going to get you through the hardest stuff. I hope you found this episode useful and valuable. Let's recap. So when you set your goals, number one, even before the one, understand your reason for each of every one of your goals. Without the reason, people perish. Without the reason, people quit. Without the reason, people do not do hard stuff. Yes. Number two, your goals gotta be specific. Like, you gotta know when you reach them. If you don't have them, we'll work on that. Like, I'm gonna be working on my public speaking skill goal. How will you know when you get there? And it's not just important for that, but it's also important for figuring out a working strategy for getting to that goal. And to figure out the best working strategy, ask people who've been there, and extra bonus, people who took other people through this journey you are on. So working strategy to help you reach your very specific goals. And then from working strategy to schedule actions. Put that in your calendar. Without those actions, those strategies and goals will never happen. Now, again, sticking with that, accountability, all of that, all this hard work mentally, psychologically, emotionally is going to happen in that showing up piece. But before that, you just got to schedule it and commit with your calendar to the work that's going to make your goals reality. And then track it. Adjust your strategies. Celebrate your small wins. Give yourself a chance to win, if not every day, then every single week. And tracking, again, is important because that will allow you to figure out when you're getting closer to your goal, when you're not getting anywhere, and adjust your strategy accordingly. Ask for additional advice, tips, opinion, etc. But then also, it will help you. It will help to tell your brain that you are making progress, that you're moving forward. Sometimes you're learning, sometimes you're making legitimate, measurable progress on the journey towards your goal. So figure out to create a win every single week and adjust your strategy every single week or even every single day. Like, check in with this. Is it working? Is it not working? Sometimes, it requires time for things to work. And extra bonus, accountability, coaching, experts, environment that supports your goals, social, psychological, physical environment. And you can get to any goal out there. Obviously, laws of physics and time and space still apply. And that's why I also say have directional goals. Just because you haven't achieved your goal this month doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means maybe it takes a little bit more time and effort. Hey guys, the best thing you can do for me when you're on this podcast is to share it with a lot, or at least one person, to rate, review the podcast, to help it reach more people, to help my goal to grow this podcast as well. So share, review, rate, also connect. If you find it useful, it's also like music to my heart when I hear from somebody that it's helping on their journey. So please connect. Angela Brain Body Coach on Instagram, Angela at brainbreakthroughcoach.com on email, and apply these strategies in 2024. And I promise you, you're going to get closer to your goals than ever. Talk to you soon. Have an awesome rest of the day. Stay tuned for Get Things Done, Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen book study on Friday. And go crush it. I believe in you.